Friends, welcome to our today's session. Let us continue our discussion on clubbing provisions. Going to share the screen with you. Two sessions are already over on this concept of clubbing. This will be our third session. Give me a moment. I'll be sharing the screen with you. Yeah. So as you know, when you talk about clubbing provision, what we mean exactly is that income of some other persons are included with the assess's total income. There are various situations in which some other person's income are included. And relating to that, we are going to learn the section 60, 61, 62, 63, and 64. Earlier, I had already explained you the content of these various sections, section 60, 61, etc. This is the entire comprehensive chart. Towards the last part of the session, we'll again come back, we'll understand the entire thing. Now, what is section 60? As you know, this deals with transfer of income without transfer of asset. And section 61 talks about income arising from revocable transfer of assets. These two things has already been over. With some examples, we have understood these concepts. What is the meaning of revocable transfer? This is dealt in section 63. That also we had discussed earlier. And there are certain exceptions where clubbing provisions are not attracted even if transfer is made through revocable transfer. Those aspects are dealt in section 62. These were also discussed in our previous sessions, for which recorded videos are already available with you. Yeah, clubbing of income arising to spouse. This aspect was also discussed, where spouse is getting from a concern where the other spouse is having substantial interest. These also, there are certain exceptions to that. That also we had discussed earlier with the help of certain examples. Yeah. Now let us continue our discussion from this point. Of course, this was also briefly discussed in our previous class. Income arising to spouse from an asset transferred without adequate consideration. Section 64(1). Last class I had told you, let me repeat it once again. If this is the kind of situation, transfer of asset, and here transfer of asset means we are not talking about house property. Because house property, you know, there is a separate section, section 27, which deals with that. But if any other assets, that is other than house property, is directly or indirectly transferred by one spouse to another spouse without adequate consideration, or this transfer is not in connection with an agreement to live apart, if this is the kind of situation, okay, it should be without adequate consideration, or uh, it is not connected with an agreement to live apart. If that is so, then any income arising to the transferee spouse from the transferred asset shall be included with the total income of the transferor spouse. Suppose husband is transferring some asset to wife without adequate consideration and not in connection with an agreement to live apart, then whatever income is earned out of that transfer, that shall be clubbed with husband's income. This is the meaning of this section. This also we had discussed. Okay. And if house property is transferred without adequate consideration, this aspect is dealt with section 27. There it has been clearly mentioned. If a house property is transferred to spouse without adequate consideration or otherwise than in connection with an agreement to live apart, the transferor shall be deemed to be the owner of the house property, and consequently the annual value of the house property will be taxed in the hands of transferor. Okay, so house property is dealt separately, and all other assets are dealt separately. All other assets are dealt in section 61, sorry, 64(1)(4), and house property is dealt in section 27. Up to this, we are discussing the previous class. Now, Today, let us start with this concept: income arising from accretion of transport asset. If that is so, we have to remember that any income from the accretion of the transport asset is not to be clubbed. I repeat, is not to be clubbed with the income of the transport. Okay, that is income arising on transport asset alone is to be clubbed. Okay, but from accretion of that asset, let us say some asset is transferred and some income is earned, and that income is invested elsewhere. So that income will not be included with the total income of the transfer. So this concept you have to remember. Okay. So if you read the second bullet point, income earned by investing such income arising from transport asset cannot be taught. One asset is transferred, and whatever money is earned out of that asset, that is invested elsewhere, and some other income is earned. That income is not going to be clubbed with the income of the transfer, with the income of the transferor. That is transferee's income. Okay, did you understand this?
Sir, accretion means?
Accretion means suppose you are keeping money in a bank, interest is accruing out of that. So that is an income.
Okay, sir.
Right. Or let us say something else is given. Suppose you have been given one machine was machine is given by given by transferor to transfer, and the transfer what he is doing, she is giving that machine on rent and earning some income. So that is also accretion of income.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. But here you see there is a condition that assets should have been transferred without adequate consideration. So here one question may come to our mind: what is the meaning of adequate consideration? This clubbing provisions will be attracted only when assets are transferred without adequate consideration. Here, friends, you have to remember that natural love and affection do not constitute adequate consideration. Someone may say that I have transferred this property out of natural love and affection, and that is the consideration for this transfer. Courts will say no, natural love and affection will not be regarded as adequate consideration. Okay, so in case some asset is transferred, let us say without adequate consideration, even if it is transferred on the ground of natural love and affection, still the income from such assets shall be clubbed with the hands of the transfer. Okay, are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Here is one connected point. If the transport asset is invested in a business, okay, then treatment will be different. If it is invested in the business, then what will happen, friends? The whatever is the income of the business, that will also be clubbed with the transferor's income. Okay, this is only when the transport asset is invested in a business. Let us read this first. If the asset or where the asset transferred directly or indirectly by an individual to his spouse is invested by the transferee in the business. Okay, let us say money is handed over. Let us say husband gives some money to wife, and wife invests that money in a business. Okay, then the proportionate income arising from such investment shall be included in the total income of the transfer. Okay, that means whatever income is earned, a proportion of that shall be included. Whatever income is earned in that business, a proportion of that will be included with the transferor's income. Okay, and if the investment is made in the nature of contribution of capital, the proportionate interest on capital will also be clubbed with the income of the transfer. Are you getting it, or you finding it? You are finding it little complex.
Sir, here proportionate means on which basis it will divide it?
Yeah, that will. So we'll do it with the help of an example. Then only it will be understood. Proportionate means on the basis of capital contribution. Okay, but how to arrive at the capital contribution? On the first day of the previous year, we have to see the total investment. Okay, and how much is the indirect investment of the transferor. On that basis, we'll arrive at the proportionate. But to understand this concept, we need an example. Then only it will be clear to you. Okay, but before that, let me once again repeat it. Here, this provision says when the asset is transferred directly or indirectly by an individual to his spouse. So you see, one spouse is transferring some asset to the another spouse. Okay, this is one thing. Second condition is that the transferee is investing that asset in a business. Then only proportionate income will be clubbed. Okay, so both the conditions asset is transferred to the spouse and it is invested by the spouse in the business. Okay, and it is in the nature of capital contribution, the proportional interest will also be clubbed. Such proportion has to be computed by taking into account the value of the aforesaid investment as on the first day of the previous year to the total investment. To understand this thing, let us take an example. Okay, with the help of example only, we'll be able to understand it. Now, watch this example minutely. Some of you may please read this example, this particular illustration. Please read it out. I'll be explaining you one by one. Please read it out.
Mr. X started a proprietary business on 1st April 2019 with a capital of 5 lakh. He incurred a
Now you
loss
see, Mr. X capital is how much?
5 lakh.
Okay, so as on 1/4/2019, his capital is 5 lakh. Now, next point, next bullet point. Yeah, please
He
read the next.
incurred a loss of 2 lakh during the year 2019-20.
Okay, now you see, on 1/4/2019, he started the business with a capital of 5 lakh. And this in 1920, he has incurred a loss of 2 lakh. Are you getting? So tell
Yes,
me,
sir.
what will be his capital as on 31st March 2020?
3 lakh.
3 lakh. All of you are agreeing? All of you are agreeing with her? Because I started business with a capital of 5 lakh. But I did 1 year's business. My loss is 2 lakh. So my year-end capital will be how much? 3 lakh. 5 lakh minus 2 lakh. 3 lakh. Very good. Fantastic. Now next paragraph.
To overcome the financial position, his wife, Mistress X, a software engineer, gave a gift of rupee 5 lakh on 1st April 2020, which was immediately invested in the business by Mr. X.
Now you see. Now wife is giving giving an amount of 5 lakh rupees on the beginning of the next year on 1/4/2020. Wife is giving rupees 5 lakh to the spouse, to the husband, and what the husband is doing, immediately investing in business. Okay, and the provision we are learning is that in case the spouse invests this money in the business, that proportionate income will be clubbed. Now the challenge here is that how to calculate that proportionate income. Okay, on what basis will arrive in that proportion? Now husband has received 5 lakh rupees from wife. Now next point.
He earned a profit of 4 lakh during the year 2020-21.
Okay, so 2021 profit is 4 lakh rupees. Yeah. Okay,
Yes, sir.
next.
Compute the amount to be clubbed in the hands of Mistress X for the assessment year 2021-22.
Right. Then one more question is also there.
If Mistress X gave the said amount as loan, what would be the amount to be clubbed?
First, let us decide how much amount, how we will arrive at the proportional amount which is to be clubbed. Now, one thing is here that the profit of this 4 lakh, okay, a proportion of this 4 lakh is going to be clubbed with which income? Mrs. X. Because Mrs. X has transferred some money without adequate consideration. Is it not? Gift. without adequate consideration. And husband has invested in the business. So proportion of this 4 lakh is to be included. Now, can you tell me on logic on what basis what proportion is to be included with Mrs. X income?
With 3:5
3:5.
proportion.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What basis you are saying? All of you are
Sir,
agreeing
from
to this? All of you are agreeing to what? She is saying 3:5. Her logic is that when the capital was introduced, so in fact, wife's money was 5 lakh rupees was introduced as capital indirectly. And how much capital was the husband was having? 3 lakh.
sir.
So your analysis is right, and that is what exactly the provision says. When you say provision, when you say the proportion means at the beginning we have to see what is the proportion of capital. On that capital only, this profits will be distributed. Okay. So first thing, one aspect is that this transfer is otherwise than adequate consideration, and also will assume that this is not in connection with an agreement to live upon. And since gift is recent and it is invested in a business, that income is to proportionately club. So you have to arrive at capital as in 1/4/2020. Already you know Mr. X capital was 3 lakh rupees. And capital contribution out of gift of Mrs. X is 5 lakh rupees. Total is 8 lakh rupees. And the total profit in the previous year 2021 is 4 lakh rupees. So the distribution will be 4 lakh into 3 divided by 8. This will be Mr. X capital, Mr. X share of profit. And what is Mrs. share of profit? 4 lakh into 5 divided by 8. These 2.5 lakh, which is Mrs. X profit, is to be clubbed with Mrs. X income.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. Understood? This part is clear. Now let us come to the next part. Last part, what is asked here. Now you give me the answer for this. If Mrs. X gave the said amount as loan, then loan means you're a bona fide loan, genuine loan. Actually, loan is given by wife to husband. In that case, whether the income will be clubbed or not, what is coming to your mind?
Sir, the income which will arise that will clubbed in the income of Mr. X.
Okay. The answer is no. Why it is no? Because when it is loan, it is repayable. Is it not? It is not something which is given without adequate consideration. Are you getting? It is repayable. These clubbing provisions will be attracted only when asset is transferred without adequate consideration and not in connection with an agreement to live upon. Okay, but when loan is given, it is for a consideration because you will get it back. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Keep this thing in mind. If loan would have been reserved, then the amount would not be clubbed with Mrs. X. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, friends, one more point also in this kind of clubbing provisions, you have to keep it in mind. You have already studied the chapter of the income head, income from other sources. At that time, you were knowing the provisions of section 56 to 10. Okay, what is that? So if some asset is transferred without adequate consideration to some other person, then that will be in the hands of recipient, that will be treated as his income. But here that means, suppose in this case, in this transfer, Mrs. X is giving 5 lakh rupees to Mr. X. Then in the hands of Mr. X, that should be an income, but there is an exemption, or you can say that provision will not be attracted because in this particular case, that provision will not attract because in the hands of Mrs. A, because since the money which is received is exceeding 5 lakh rupees, and that too from a relative. Okay, have you remembered this particular provision? Income from other sources, 56(2)(x), or should I show it to you? Let me show you this provision. Okay, just give me 1 second, you will understand. Otherwise, what will happen? This income, entire income, which is received by Mr. X, will be also taxable in the hands of Mr. X, because this is something which is received without adequate consideration. So, just a minute, let me show you the provision 56(2)(10). Are you able to recall that provision? Have you studied that or no? Not yet studied?
We started that but did not remember.
Just I'll show you that thing. As you can see, I'm taking it to. Are you seeing it?
Yes, sir.
The tax department's website. Are you able to see it?
Yes, sir.
I will go to Income Tax Act. Let us go to section 56. You see, it talks about what? Income from other sources. Are you seeing it? No, I think it's not visible.
No, sir. Screen not visible.
Screen is not visible. Oh, I will show it once again. I think screen sharing got disturbed. Don't worry, I'm showing it once. Now you are watching Income Tax Department's website.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I'm taking you to the apps. Here is our Income Tax Act. So let us see section 56. Now watch here. What is there? Section 56.
Income from other sources.
Income from other sources. Now we'll read this section and you try to apply that section with that example. Now you see. It talks about what is income from other sources. Income of every kind, which is not to be excluded from the total income, shall be chargeable to income tax under the head income from other sources. That means which is not chargeable or under any other head and which is not excluded from total income. All these things will be chargeable under this head of income. Okay. And section 56 to 10 will be seeing to talks about some examples of that income. So we are interested in 210. Just give me a moment. Let me take you to 210. Yeah. Now here you see where if any person receives in any previous year from any person or persons on or after 1/4/2017 any sum of money without consideration. Okay. The aggregate value of which exceeds rupees 50,000 rupees. The whole of aggregate consideration. That means in this case, this amount is exceeding 50,000 rupees. Yes, or not. It is exceeding 50,000 rupees or not? Can you reply?
Can you show that slide again?
Yeah, I can explain you that thing. You see, the wife has transferred 5 lakh rupees to husband. Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir.
Is it
Yes,
not?
sir.
Wife has transferred
Yes, sir.
5 lakh. My question is that definitely that is exceeding
Yes,
50,000 rupees.
yes, sir. Exceeding.
If it is exceeding 50,000 rupees, then in the hands of husband, it should be an income. You have already seen these provisions. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it should be an income. Okay, first of all, profit is an income, but this profit is that you told what is to be clubbed in the ratio of 5:3, that is an income. But if you read this provision, the entire money which is received, the 5 lakhs should be treated as income in the husband, ideally. But you see, this particular provision has got some exceptions. If you come to this exception, let me show you. This is 10A. See, this clause shall not apply any money received from any relative. There are some other exceptions around the, on the occasion of marriage. Okay, so that is the logic why it is not in. Did you understand? 5610, 56 to 10. Yes or no?
Sir, in fast case, both husband and wife are also treated as relative.
Yes, husband or wife are relative.
Sir, in that
Relative.
case,
Since they are relative, 56(2) is not getting attracted. Otherwise, that should also be treated as an income. But let us say, let me, some other provisions we are going to learn when uh, relative is not transferring, some other person is transferring. We'll see what will happen to that. We have another example, we'll be learning that. But in this case, 56 to 10 is not getting attracted because this is a gift by a relative.
okay, sir.
Okay. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
So this is this provision you have to keep in the mind. But if money has received from some other person other than relative, then the entire 5 lakh rupees will be taxable here. Okay,
Okay, sir.
entire 5 lakh rupees will be taxable in the hands of Mr. X because of application of 56(2). Okay,
Yes, sir.
understood this point? All of you have understood this point?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Now, one related provision, let us see. Here what happens? Transfer of asset for the benefit of spouse. That means here what is happening? The asset is not transferring directly to the spouse. What the asset is doing? Transferring some other person for the benefit of spouse. That means spouse is getting, may get a direct benefit, may get an indirect benefit also. Okay, in that case also, the income will be clubbed in the hands of transferor. If you read the provision, it is like this: all income arising directly or indirectly to any person or association of person from the assets transferred directly or indirectly to such person or association of person by an individual without adequate consideration. So in essence, what we are learning is that any asset is transferred directly or indirectly to somebody without adequate consideration. If that is so, is includable in the income of the individual to the extent such income is used by the transferee for the immediate or deferred benefit of transferor's spouse. So there is a transferor, there is a transferee, right? So the transferor has transferred something, not to the spouse, to a third party. Okay, and the spouse wife is getting some immediate benefit or deferred benefit. Maybe she's getting immediately something, or maybe deferredly. After some time, you'll get some benefit. In that case, what will happen? The income will be clubbed with the hands of the transferor. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me give an example. Okay, let us say husband has transported asset to somebody, Mr. X, with a condition that out of that income from that asset, every month 5,000 rupees will be given to his wife. Now this income of 5,000 will be clubbed in the husband's income. Now I think you have understood this example,
Yes, sir.
because income is generated from the asset by the wife. Okay, it is for the benefit of the transferor's wife, and that income will be clubbed with husband's income. Provision is this simple. Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay, understood this? Indirect transfer. Now, friends, now we'll be, so far we are discussing about transfer of assets directly or indirectly to spouse. The next concept that we are going to learn is about clubbing of income arising to son's wife. Son's wife means daughter-in-law. But income tax law, instead of using the word daughter-in-law, it uses the term son's wife. Here we have to see income arising to son's wife, that income will be clubbed. But we have to see that income must be from the assets which are transferred without adequate consideration, either by father-in-law or mother-in-law. So a father-in-law or a mother-in-law must have been transferred some asset to son's wife without adequate consideration. And income generated out of that asset shall be clubbed with the transferor's income, that is father-in-law's income or mother-in-law's income. This provision is there in section 64(1)(5). Okay,
Yes, sir.
now let us learn it faster. The simple provision is that where an asset is transferred directly or indirectly by an individual to his or her son's wife without adequate consideration, the income from such asset is to be included in the total income of transferor. Okay, here simple provision. Asset is transferred without adequate consideration, it will be included in the total income of the transferor. Okay, if you compare with the similar provisions of asset transferred to spouse, there was one more condition. What was the condition? Two things were there. Without adequate consideration, that is one condition. What is the other condition? Who can tell me? I will remember. Similar provisions was there when asset was transferred to spouse. Yes or no?
Sir.
But here you are saying only one condition, without adequate consideration. My question is that there was one more additional condition when asset was getting transferred to spouse. What was that condition? Who can tell me? Are you getting my question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Who can tell me? Should I show you that provision?
They must be relative.
No. Okay, let me show you then. Let me show you. Now you see. First provision.
With consideration?
No, you see. Two things are there. You see. This is the first provision. When transfer of asset without adequate consideration, then or can you read it? Otherwise than in connection with an agreement to live apart. This part. Oh, sorry. Just give me a moment. Okay, are you seeing it?
Yes, sir.
Whether this additional condition is there when it is transferred to son's wife?
No, sir.
No. This is the difference. Okay. So you see, where asset is transferred directly or indirectly by an individual to his son's wife without adequate consideration. That's all. The income of such asset is to be included with the total income of transfer. So in case of husband-wife transfer, you have to not only see adequate consideration, you have to also check, is it in connection with an agreement to live apart? If that is so, if it is in connection with an agreement to live apart, then income is not going to be clubbed. Okay, only when it is not in connection with an agreement to live apart, then only income will be clubbed. Are you getting?
Sir.
Okay, fine. So this is a simple provision. We have to keep it in the mind. Now, similar provision also. What is that? Asset is transferred and asset is invested in business. Then what will happen? You already know. The proportionate income arising from such investment will be included in the total income of the transferor. We had discussed this point today.
Yes, sir.
This provision is also similar, where asset is transferred directly or indirectly by an individual to his or her son's wife are invested by the transferee in a business. Then proportionate income arising from such investment is to be included with the total income of the transferor. Okay, let us say father-in-law has transferred some money to son's wife and son's wife has invested in a business. Then the business profit proportionately shall be included with the total income of the father-in-law. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If the investment is in the nature of contribution of capital, then the proportionate interest on capital shall also be clubbed with the income of the transfer. This provision is also similar what we have learned. Okay. Now, how to arrive at the proportion of capital? We have to take into account the balances in the capital account on the first day of the previous year. Just like the example we had done earlier, on that basis we have to see it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, one more related provision is that here what happens in this provision, that is 64(1)(8). Here this provision is not talking about transferring of any asset directly to son's wife. This provision is talking about a situation where some asset is transferred to somebody else for the immediate or deferred benefit of son's wife. That means son's wife will be getting some indirect benefit most of the case. Right? So you see, all income arising directly or indirectly to any person or association of person from the asset transferred directly or indirectly without adequate consideration to such person or association of person by any individual. So if to put it in simple words, so somebody has transferred, or one father-in-law or mother-in-law has transferred something, some asset to a third party. Okay, without adequate consideration.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, here all income will be clubbed or only that part of income which given to the
Yeah, you
wife by
see,
the
if
third
you read the
party will
complete
club?
sentence, it says all income. Then it says, to the extent such income is used by the transferee for the immediate or deferred benefit of transferor's son's wife. Let us say father-in-law has transferred some asset to a person, to one Mr. X. Okay. Mr. X has earned 1 lakh rupees. And out of this 1 lakh rupees, 50,000 rupees has been spent for benefit of son's wife. Then 50,000 rupees will be clubbed. If the entire money is used for the benefit of son's wife, then entire 1 lakh rupees will be clubbed. Okay. The provision says all income, but if you read the complete sentence, it says all income to the extent. All income means all kind of income. There might be variety kind of income. That money, maybe business profit, maybe interest income. There might be some other income.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so all these types of income, to the extent such income is used by the assessee for the immediate or deferred benefit of transferor's wife, to that extent it will be clubbed. Clubbed with whom? With the income of the transferor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, friends?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Now, yeah, here is that 56 to 10. I was showing you that thing. Now that will be useful. where asset is transferred by any person to any person without consideration or for inadequate consideration, the provision of 56 to 10 will be attracted. Okay, unless it is a transfer to relatives. If it is more than 50,000, then what will happen? The entire thing which is transferred, that is the income in the hands of the recipient. Is it not? So that will be treated as income from other sources. This point also one has to keep it in mind. Income which is earned, that will be clubbed. That's different thing. But when asset is transferred, are you getting? When asset is transferred without adequate consideration, that asset itself is an income with the income for the recipient.
Okay, sir.
Are you getting it? And that will be taxable under the head income from other sources. All of you are getting this point? Or should I elaborate this?
Sir, can you give another example of
Yeah.
this?
I'm in the process of giving that example. This will be understood only with the help of example. Okay, but before that, let me repeat it, then I'll be giving you that example. You see, we know when an asset is transferred, okay, then without adequate consideration for the benefit of son's wife, okay, an asset is transferred to some other person, then any income which is used for the benefit of son's wife, that will be included with the income of the transferor. That is point number one. But we have to keep one more thing in mind. The moment asset is transferred, that is also an income for the recipient. For the recipient, that is an income. When asset is transferred without adequate consideration. And there is some exception. Exception is that if it is transferred within, let us say, transfer among relatives, then it is an exception. Or the asset is below 50,000 rupees, that is also an exception. Otherwise, that will be an income. So now let us understand example. I request some of you, please read this example. Please read it out.
Mrs. K transfer her immovable property to ABC Company Limited, subject to a condition that out of the
One
rental
second. Now you see, Mrs. K transferred immovable property to ABC Co. Whether ABC Co can be a relative?
No, sir.
No, it's a company, it's an individual. So one thing you have to understand, it is transferred to a person who is not a relative. ABC Co is a person under income tax law, but not a relative. Okay. Subject to a condition that, now continue.
Subject to a condition that out of the rental income, a sum of 36,000 per annum shall be utilized for the benefit of her son's wife.
Now you see, to the extent of 36,000 shall be utilized for immediate or deferred benefit of son's wife. Whose son's wife? Mrs. X son's wife. Right. Who is the transferor? Mrs. K is the transferor. Who is the transferee? ABC Co is the transferee. But who will get the benefit? To the extent of 36,000, benefit will received by Mrs. K's son's wife. If there is any income beyond 36,000, that will be enjoyed by ABC and Co.
Okay, sir.
ABC Co Limited. Right? Understood the situation? Now, next point.
Mrs. K claims that the amount of 36,000 which utilized by her son's wife should not be included in her total income as she no longer owned the property.
This is the claim of Mrs. K, that immovable property is not mine. I have already transferred it to ABC Company Limited. Okay, so therefore this income should not be clubbed. You have to give your comment on this, whether the contention of Mrs. K is valid in law or not. Tell me what is your opinion. What do you say in this situation? Question number one, whether the income is to be clubbed. Is it right or wrong? Okay. First you answer this thing, then I'll be asking the second question.
Yes, sir, it will be
It will
clubbed.
be clubbed. All of you are agreeing that it will be clubbed? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, my second question is that whether the transfer of that property will be treated as an income for ABC Company Limited. Let us say property transfer is worth 5 lakh, which it is transferred by Mrs. K to ABC Company Limited. Is it an income? And this transfer is without adequate consideration.
Sir,
Here
can
you have to
explain?
keep it. I will explaining you. I was showing you the
The-
provisions of section 56 to 10.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what 56 to 10 says that if any transfer of any asset in excess of rupees 50,000 rupees without adequate consideration, that will be an income in the hands, income from other sources in the hands of the transferee. Exception
sir.
is relative. There's an exception is relative, or in marriage occasion, those are exceptions. Assuming that it is not any occasion like that, and that too, this company is not a relative. Whether it will be treated, it will be an income for the ABC Company Limited.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, that is an income. Okay. Okay, in the previous example, it was not an income because transfer was between husband and wife, the relative. But here it is not relative. Okay, now let us read out the solution. First of all, as you told rightly, that clubbing provisions gets attracted because the son's wife is getting direct or indirect benefit and asset is transferred without adequate consideration. Okay, son's wife is getting immediate and deferred benefit. So the income has to be clubbed. So the income of 36,000, which is meant for the benefit of daughter-in-law, is to be chargeable to tax in the hands of Mrs. K. So the contention of Mrs. K that it need not be clubbed and he is no more the owner of the asset is not valid. Okay,
Yes, sir.
yeah, please. Understood this thing?
Yes, sir.
Now coming to next question, which I asked you, the provisions of 56 to 10 would also get attracted in the hands of ABC Company Limited. Okay, because it will be treated as ABC Companies Limited's income. Okay, which income we are talking about? When this asset is transferred. In the question, the asset's worth is not received. Let us say asset's worth is 5 lakh rupees. The 5 lakh rupees is the income of ABC. Okay, for that year. Out of that asset, maybe every year 1 lakh is added. Out of that 1 lakh, 36,000 will be clubbed with Mrs. X, and the remaining amount, okay,
To
remaining
ABC.
64,000 will be clubbed with ABC Company.
Okay, sir.
All of you understood it, or should I explain it?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Understood? All of you? Will you please say? Otherwise, I won't mind explaining it again. All of you are getting me?
Getting, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So, these provisions you have to go through minutely. Okay, so this concept we have understood. One is transfer to wife, we have understood. Transfer to son's wife also, we have understood these provisions. Okay, now we'll go to the next area. Next area is that clubbing of minor sin. Okay, now you see here we have to study section 64 1A, some of the provisions we are going to study today. All income of a minor to be included in the income of his or her parent. At these stage, it is not clear which parent, whether father and mother. Subsequently, we will learning that. Okay, all income of the minor is to be clubbed. Okay, understood? The first provision says all income, whatever is the income of the minor, that is to be clubbed with the parent's income. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
But if you see the next provision, however, the income derived by a minor from manual work or from any activity involving his skill, talent, or specialized knowledge or experience will not be included in the income of his parent. Understood this? First point is that all income is to be clubbed. Second point, what it says, it talks about certain exceptions. Is it not? What are these exceptions?
Income arise from the
Manual
skills.
work. Minor is doing a manual work. A minor is doing something involving his skill, okay, talent, specialized knowledge, experience will not be included with the parent's income. Let us say there is a minor who is performing, let us say, in a program in an electronic media. Let us say she's a dancer, is performing a dance, and an income of 20 lakh. Now, question is that whether this 20 lakh will be clubbed with parents' income or not.
No, sir.
No, it will not be clubbed. Why no?
Because this is arising from his skill
Okay,
or talent.
it's arising her skill. Now, who will pay tax on this? Whether the 20 lakh will be exempt? Yes or no? Whether 20 lakh will be exempt or tax is payable on this?
Since he is a minor, it will exempt.
It will be exempt. Have you studied anywhere that minus incomes are exempt? No, we have not studied anywhere.
No, sir.
No. Okay. Can anyone recall any such provision where income tax law says income of the minor is exempt? No.
No, sir.
Okay. Whether minor can have a PAN? Whether minor can have a permanent account number? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, anybody can have a permanent account number. Okay, even a just born baby can have a PAN. Okay, and this 20 lakh that we are talking about is taxable in the hands of minor separately. It will be asked. It will not be clubbed, but that doesn't mean that it is tax free. Are you getting? It will not be clubbed, but it will be taxable. It is taxable in whose hand? It's taxable in the hands of minor. Okay. Now understood.
Sir.
Now let us say minor is having an interest income. He has some fixed deposit and he is earning an interest of 20 lakh rupees. Whether it will be taxable in the minor's hand or in the parent's hand.
Parents and
Parent's hand. Okay. Because it's not his through his manual labor or through exercise of skill and talent. That income will be clubbed. Okay, understood this point?
yes, sir.
Okay, good. Now, yeah, we're talking about this thing that it will be clubbed with parents' income, but the question comes, who is parent? Father and mother. Here you have to keep in mind the minor's income will be included with the total income. The parent, whose total income, excluding that minor's income, is greater. Okay, whose total income is greater? If father's income is greater, excluding minor's income, or mother's income is greater, we have to find it out. And the minus income will be clubbed with that parent whose income is greater. Is it clear to you?
यस सर. सर अगर कोई भी पेरेंट का इनकम ज़्यादा नहीं हो रहा है माइनर का इनकम से, देन इन दैट केस
Okay, this is again a very tricky question, and it is also a tax planning related question. You see, for that thing, law has no answer. This is, you can say, this is a loophole in the law. Law has made it clear that it will be clubbed with the income of the either parent whose income is greater. But you are saying that nobody's income is greater. Okay, if this kind of situation comes, so as practitioner, practically what we do, we manage to make somebody's income little higher. Let us say father's income, we make 1 rupee higher, so it becomes clubbing, clubbing provision, applying clubbing provision becomes easy. But that's not the real solution to that. Okay, this is something. It is shortcut to the solution. Real solution is that in that case, if practically you are paying both husband and wife's income is same, then minor's income cannot be clubbed. This particular section cannot be applied. Okay. Now, one man say, we cannot apply, what will happen? Then again, it's a question of law. If it cannot be applied, then minor will be assessed separately. One thing. Okay. Somebody may say a minor has to be assessed separately. And that is the appropriate solution. Or one may make an extreme argument like this. The intention is to club the income, but since a provision cannot be applied, minor will not be taxed at all. And, okay, in this kind of situation, you see, when there is no answer in the law, courts will decide depending upon the facts and circumstances. But these are the arguments which are possible. Okay,
Yes.
law is silent. You cannot say that 50-50 I will be adding in the both the parents because no such provision is there in the law. Okay, you can say provision, I am unable to apply the provision, so I will not pay tax. It's an extreme argument. Provision is there, but since I'm unable to apply it, so I am unable to assess it. Okay, now courts will decide. Other thing is that I'm unable to apply this provision, but therefore I am paying it individually. Minor will be assessed separately. Two possibilities are there.
Okay, sir.
Okay, but as you have already pointed it out, law has got many provisions. The provisions, many provisions where there are loopholes, and these loopholes can be used for tax planning, tax avoidance, tax evasion also. Okay, that possibilities are also there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, here one more provision. Similar provisions we have already learned earlier. Once it is clubbed, once the minus income is clubbed with the income of one parent, it will continue to be clubbed with that parent only in subsequent years. So once in a particular assessment year, the income of the minor is clubbed, let us say, with father's income, it will be continued. It will continue to be clubbed with father's income only. Unless the assessing officer feels that it needs to be clubbed or there is a necessity to be clubbed with other parent. And that also he can do after giving the other parent an opportunity of being heard. After listening to the other parent, the assessing officer may change it. Otherwise, it will continue to be clubbed with the same parent's income. Did you
So
understand?
here
Yeah.
again, there is a loophole. If in the current year, or say in the next 2 years, one parent was having more income, but say
Yeah.
5 years down the line, the other parent is having more income.
Yes,
Yeah.
that possibility is there. But here law has made it clear, once it has clubbed, let us say last year it had clubbed with one parent's income. This year it will be continued to be clubbed with that parent's income, even if that parent's income is lower. Okay, this is the provision in the law. But however, one can make an application to the assessing officer. Assessing officer may change it after giving the other parent an opportunity of being heard. When the assessing officer feels that it is necessary to do so. So it is the discretion of the assessing officer to do that. So here you see, law has made a provision, there is an option. Solution options are there. But the previous situation, there is no option in the law. But here there are some options to arrive at the solution to the problem. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, one more provision, maybe this provision or the next provision. With that, we'll be concluding our today's session. Now, what will happen if the marriage of the parents doesn't subsist? This is also a possibility, right? If marriage subsists, then you can say either of the parent. If marriage is not subsisting, then question is that technically, if you interpret it, marriage is not subsisting. Let us say there is a divorce. Then they are not husband and wife. There is no spouse. Okay. So this is if marriage is not subsisting, what will do? The minor's income will be clubbed with the income of the parent who is maintaining the child. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Who is maintaining the child? It will that with that person's income, it will be clubbed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, yeah, this provision let us cover today also. Income of the minor child who is suffering from any disability in the nature specified in section 80U will not be clubbed. So disabled child's income will not be clubbed in the hands of the parent, but shall be assessed in the hands of the child. Here, law has made it clear: if the minor child is disabled, then his income will not be clubbed with parent's income. He will be assessed separately. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This provision you have to remember. And when he
So,
say minor, yeah, you have a query, then please ask.
sir, what is the logic behind that? If he is disabled, then his income is not clubbed with the parents'
Okay, you
income.
see, in law, we'll not search for logic. Whatever is the provision of the law, we have to follow it. Very simple thing. Okay.
Okay.
There will be many provisions of the law which may not be logical, but you have to follow it since it is law. So therefore, my message to you is that understand law logically when it is logical and illogically when it is illogical. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now this disabled minor part you have understood? Yeah. Now, when I say minor's income will be clubbed with parents' income, here you have to keep one thing in the mind. Minor also includes minor married daughter. Okay, so if it's the income and by minor married daughter, unless it is specifically exempted, those exemptions you are aware of, then it will also be clubbed with the income of the parent whose income is higher. Okay.
Here the income will clubbed in her parent or in
Okay, your
father-in-law or
question
mother-in-law.
parent means father and mother. You are asking very pertinent question that whether father or father-in-law, mother or mother-in-law. No, it is the father.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now this concept I wanted to explain you with the help of example. But let me give you the provisions today. Next class we'll be doing that example. Now you see exemption in respect of clubbed income of the minor. You have already seen in many situations income of the minor is getting clubbed with the parent's income. But in that case, if at all a minor's income is clubbed with parent's income, then such parent shall be entitled to an exemption of rupees 1,500 in respect of each child. Okay, for each child, 1,500 shall be exempted. Okay, but in case income of the minor is less than that, let us say income of the minor is 1,000, then 1,000 will be exempted. Okay, so you can say income of the minor or rupees 1,500, whichever is less, that amount will be exempted.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
To understand this example, so I'll be explaining you example. I wanted to do that, but today time may not permit us. So we'll do one thing. We'll close our session here today. Next class we'll catch up with this concept. That is how exemptions will be allowed. We'll do that example, then we'll move ahead. Okay. So we are closing our session here. Thank you very, very much. In case you have any query, you may ask me right now. Any other query you have? Anything else you would like to ask me?
No, sir.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you very, very much. We'll catch up with some more classes on this concept. Thanks.